welcome back to Heart at Rest Yoga. And today's practice is going to focus a lot on hip opening because it's just good for us, and also the thinking and the science of yoga has found that a lot of emotional tension can be held in our hip joints, and so releasing it, I don't know if anybody else is feeling any tension, but this tends to be a time that, you know, even unknowingly you sometimes experience some anxiety. So the nice thing about yoga is we can just take a little break from all that and be in our bodies and in our practice. So I thought I would read a little bit from, I wanted to show you, remind you that having some props around, these are yoga blocks, which you can even order online. I got mine from Hugger Mugger. I recommend getting the harder kind. Hugger Mugger has this nice stripe through it. It's a little harder, but it's not necessary. You can use a couple books. You can use even a big can of something that would hold your weight if you leaned on it. Probably some of those nice big, I don't know, like the kind of shape, not that anybody drinks that Hawaiian punch anymore, but that kind of shape. We're going to be doing something at the end that you might want to get a nice quilt that you can fold up to be about this thick. This is a yoga bolster, but it's not necessary. You can just wrap up a quilt or have several blankets that you can stack up. And I recommend that everybody start on 2 blankets. You can also start in a chair. If coming down on the floor and folding your legs is a problem, you can also sit on the floor with your legs in an outstretched position. So we'll not let props get in the way of you being able to do some yoga. This is a lovely book by Charlotte Bell, who is a yoga teacher, and it's called Mindful Yoga, Mindful Life. So I thought I'd read just a couple paragraphs about balance, because I like to remember what she says about our practice. She says, asana practice is the perfect laboratory to explore the quality of your effort. In each asana, the quality of effort needed will vary. It will also vary from day to day. In order to practice in a balanced way, you must shift your intention from accomplishing the pose to finding and exploring your edge. When your intention in asana practice is to place your head on your knee in a forward bend or to accomplish a more intense back bend, your effort almost always will be too much. On a physiological level, you will likely create more tension in the body rather than less. The breath is the most effective gauge for balancing effort with each asana practice. When the breathing becomes shallow, erratic, or non-existent, you are likely doing too much. At these times, you're sending signals through the nervous system that the body is in danger. The nervous system responds by tightening the muscles further. Practice so the breath is calm, deep, and in harmony with the outer manifestations of the asana. Then the body can relax. So we'll hope, we're just reminding ourselves to practice with that nice balance, so that you're not adding stress, but releasing it. So let's build this pose wherever you are. If you're in a chair, you can put your hands on the outer edges of the chair. If you're sitting on blankets, place your fingertips on the floor and your thumb on the blankets, and then lift the front body up. So feel a nice lift and support of the spine through the front body. And you can even place your hands next to your blankets, lift your whole your whole pelvis up, and then keep that lift as you return. Have your left leg in front, and then bring your hands to your thighs and just close your eyes. Even now, check in. Just make sure that your eyes are gently closed. Try to relax the skin on the forehead. Notice your lips and let them be touching but almost not touching. And let the tongue relax down into the base of the mouth. And just notice your breathing. You don't have to change it in any way. But often just drawing attention to your breath will end up evening the breath out. And then let's bring our hands together at our heart. And pressing the thumbs into the sternum, lift the sternum up. One of the things we want to continue to practice is the opening of the heart. So let's begin our practice with some gratitude for the practice of yoga, and with gratitude for the chance to be together, even in these times of some isolation, through the wonder of YouTube and the chance to practice virtually. So let's begin with 3 Ohms together. I remind you that my dog Gordy may join us. So take a nice breath. The hands and open the eyes and reach your arms out. And then inhale, lift. Reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. And then exhale. And once again, the breath is helpful. So let's try to end up at the top of the Urdhva Hastasana on the inhale. And then at the bottom on the exhale. So just match your movements to the length of your breath. So you end up, when you're all at the end of your exhale, at the bottom. Let's try that one more time, just for a little practice of breathing into the pose. And now reach the hands in front, and inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn to your right and place the palm in front of the left knee. Now, inhale, lift up. Drop the forearm in between the legs and reach over to your left side. Inhale, lift and cross the arms. Scoop and round the back. Pull the belly button back through the back. And then on an inhale, lift up as if you're taking off a t-shirt. And then exhale back down. And now let's reach out over our left knee. So reach the right arm forward, bend the left arm. Just have a nice stretch. And lift up. We'll sit back upright. And then inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. You can hold the outer knee this time. Inhale, lift. Drop the forearm between the knees. Reach over. And stay here for a breath and try turning the heart any amount toward your upper arm and the ceiling. Then inhale, lift up and cross the arms. Scoop the belly back, lift the belly up. And then inhale, look up and reach up. And exhale. And then we'll do one more time. So inhale, lift. Exhale, turn to your right, hold the outer right knee. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach over, stretch over. Now stay there, and as you inhale, turn the bottom ribs forward any amount, the upper ribs open. And on an exhale, just lengthen over. Inhale, lift up, cross, and scoop the belly in and up. And then reach up, lift up, and exhale, and stretch out over your left knee. come on back upright. And then stretch the legs out. Have them kind of wider than usual. Place your hand at your hip crease and then just hinge forward, just reach the heart forward. So the back is fairly straight and lifted. And then stick back upright. This time cross your right leg in front. And then we'll inhale and lift up. Reach up. Lengthen the spine, use that as your traction, and then exhale, turn to your left. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach over. Inhale, lift and turn the chest any amount. Opening our chest, we've been leaning over a lot of devices sometimes. It's nice to open the chest. Inhale, lift up and cross the arms. Some of us have been sewing masks. So we're opening up our heart. So inhale, lift up, reach up. And then exhale over the right knee this time. So this time the left arm reaches forward, the right arm is bent in an angle, and then inhale, lift up. And then inhale, lift. Reach up, exhale, turn. Oopsie. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach over. Now inhale, lift and open the chest. Exhale, extend. Inhale, lift and cross the arms. Scoop the belly back as if it could go through your spine. Now inhale, lift up, reach up, and exhale. And now we're going to reach out over our right knee. Inhale, lift up. We'll do one more. So inhale, lift. Exhale, turn to the left. Holding the outer knee. Inhale, lift the back arm up. Exhale, reach over. Lengthen over. On an inhale, turn the chest any amount toward the ceiling. And exhale, reach over. Inhale, lift and cross the arms. And now round the upper back. So really lift as if you could lift your lower abdomen up under your ribs. Now inhale, lift up, reach up. And now we'll exhale out over our right knee, stretching forward. And then come on back upright and stretch your legs out. We're going to open the back of the knees. They've been all squashed up. Hands at the hip crease, lift the heart, and then just reach the heart forward. And you'll probably feel a nice stretch behind your hamstrings, a little bit of one, and then a little stretch in the lower back, maybe. Okay, and then come on back upright. We're going to move our blankets. And, hi. And we're going to come to all fours for preparing for downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. A Svanasana, I suppose, is a dog. Adho is downward, Mukha is face, downward facing dog pose. All right, so open the palms up so they give you a nice, like almost tree frog approach to support. And then press all, like under each knuckle, as if you could really press it into the floor. Turn the fingers out a little bit, overlapping the edge of your mat to give your shoulders a nice open space. And then curl the toes under. We're going to inhale up to bent knees first. And exhale here. So really grow the pose while your knees are still bent by pressing the hands and then reaching through the wrists, elbows, shoulders, and now come up on your toes. And now lower the heels toward the mat. And look back at your ankles and see if both ankles are equally moving back. So you're not rolling in or out on your ankles. And then walk the feet toward the hands.
and lift up to Ardha Uttanasana. Using your shins is often a good idea. And take the tops of your shoulders back toward your waist. So they're not rounding over. You're really opening the collarbones. Just feeling a nice openness for your chest. And then fold over to Uttanasana and just let the upper body relax over. Almost as if there's a nice cool stream pouring from the lower back across the shoulders onto the floor. But keep the legs engaged. Even lift your toes now to see if you can wake up your legs a little bit, and then keep that awakening and lower the toes. And now place the hands a little bit forward and step your left leg back, step your right leg back, downward facing dog. So feel the nice lengthening of the spine as you press the hands down. Let the neck be loose. Draw the inner thighs back. Draw the hips away from the waist. And now walk the hands back to the feet and lift up to Ardha Uttanasana. So the shoulder blades are coming in toward the spine, and the upper body is parallel to your mat. And so the shins are often a big help in doing that. And then fold over to Uttanasana. Just let gravity be your friend. Hold your elbows. Hold your outer elbows and just allow that extra weight down to stretch your back long. And then place the hands down on the floor. Walk the hands forward. One more downward facing dog. And then come on down to your knees gently. I'm going to be very nice to our knees. Okay, so now we're going to do lizard pose. Okay, so pick one leg up and move it to the outer edge of your mat. Right, place your left hand inside your left knee. All right, now straighten the back leg. Okay, and lower the hips, so the hips are low, and you might want to look forward a little bit to see what's going on here. And then reach your left hand forward as if you're, I don't know, it just seems lizard-like to me, like how a lizard would crawl slowly, one foot at a time. And then try to bring your left knee in toward your shoulder. And then lower that down, place the hands. Okay, and we're going to do the other side. So maybe if I just show you one time sideways, what we're doing is if this was the edge of my mat, my right foot is going forward, my right hand is inside of it, I'm straightening my back leg, and then I reach forward. But my hips are low, more like in a plank kind of pose, if that makes sense. Okay. So we'll do that side. Step the left foot forward. I'm sorry, right foot forward. And the left hand inside. Straighten the other leg. Okay, keep your left hand on the floor, but reach your right hand forward. Now press the right knee in toward your ribs or the armpit or wherever it is. And then lower that down and bring the knees down. It's an interesting stretch for the hips. Okay, so we're going to do once more on each side. Bringing your inner lizard awakens, all right? So we've brought our left leg forward, straighten the right leg, keep the hips low to the floor, and then reach your arm forward. Just let the back of the neck be long. Don't let the head drop down because your head is heavy. And then lower the knee in the back. Bring both knees down. We'll do it once more on the other side. So step Right foot forward, and that leg should be in a pretty, almost a right angle for the support of the knee. Straighten the back leg. You always want to have your knee over your ankle, except when instructed otherwise, and then reach the arm forward. And then lower the leg, and then come back to sitting. And we're going to stretch the hips in a different way with Sukhirandhrasana. Okay. Now most of us, there's two ways to do this. You can cross the leg over the knee, the ankle over the knee, all right? And then you can use your the upper leg, you use that same hand to push the knee away a little bit, and you can control it by bringing this leg forward. You can make the stretch a little more. And also you can do it lying down. So choose your position. I think I'll do it sitting up for variety. All right. So your hands are behind you if you're in sitting position. If you're lying down, you bring the knee up toward your chest. Now draw your left knee away from you. Okay, and you can encourage it by pressing on it mindfully. Remember, if you're having trouble with your breathing, you might be over-efforting. And then bring that down, and we'll cross the right ankle over the left knee. Draw the right knee away from your shoulder. And if you want to add a little more opening, you can press away with your hand or with the whole forearm. And then you can place that. I'm going to now try one lying down. So bend your left leg over the right knee. If you're doing it lying down, hit this whole right leg up and use your elbows pressing into the outer knee to open that hip up. And this is a adjustable pose for your particular hips. And lower that down, lower the foot. And now we're going to do the opposite leg. So right ankle on left knee, lift the left knee up, hold behind the knee, and then use the elbow pressing into the lower thigh to open that up. Right, and then lower that down. And then roll to your right side. Come on up. And then we're going to do one more hip opener before we do Surya Namaskar. So bring your feet out as far as, at least as far as the edge of the mat, but turn the foot parallel to the front of the mat. All right. Now hold the outer ankle, reach the hands inside so you're kind of pressing back the hips, and lift the front body up. This is sometimes called, what is it? God, the snake goddess pose. We can stick our tongue out too if we want. And then, this is more like a snake goddess, right? So you want to lift these up, but don't lose the pressure on the inner knee. Lift the front body. It requires a good bit of lift. All right, and then relax for a minute. Bring the feet together in Baddha Konasana. It's like a restorative pose to me. Okay, let's do that one more time. So the feet are turned out. Lift the front body as you do in Dandasana, and bring your elbows inside your knee. And actually, it's kind of a relief. Let's go ahead and do that lion face pose. So just stick your tongue out as far as it'll go. Let's do it with the breath, so you kind of make a lion exhale. Good. There's a lot of tension we hold in our jaw, so that's kind of a nice
the leaf. Okay, so now let's get a blanket for our knees. We're going to do Surya Namaskar with a low lunge. And so you'll want probably a blanket where your knees are going to go. Okay, and then come to the front of the mat. Adjust my camera a little bit. Hopes you can see. Okay. So bring our hands to our heart and honoring the light within and the light that is surrounding us always. So take a nice deep inhale, press the feet down, and exhale. Lower the head, lower the eyes. Press the feet down as you lift the arms up with the Hastasana. And then exhale, folding up the waist. At the hips actually. Then inhale, lift up to Ardha Uttanasana, once again using the shins, top of the shoulders back toward the waist. And then fold over to Uttanasana. Just let yourself surrender. Place the hands, bend the knees, step the left leg back and lower the knee. Draw the front knee into the hip socket, come up to your thigh. Now press down on the thigh as you lift the lower abs up. And then lift the arms all the way up. Draw the right arm down and reach the left arm into prayer twist. Pressing the knee into the elbow into the knee. Draw the top shoulder back toward an imaginary wall. Then exhale back down. And straighten the back leg, step back to downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Reach the left leg straight back in Eka Padasana. Now bend the knee in toward your chest and swing it through between your hands and lower the other leg. Lift up to the knee. And lift all the way up. Lower the left arm, reach the right arm forward into prayer twist. Draw that top shoulder back to an imaginary wall. And then lower the hands down. And then either bring both knees down or straighten the back leg and step back to downward facing dog. And shift the weight forward to plank. And move the inner arms forward, the outer arms back. And make sure that the back of the neck, don't let the neck hang down. Have the neck in line with the spine, the crown of the head in line, almost like you could roll a marble down from the back of your head. Now back into downward facing dog. And then swing it back into plank. So the highest point of the pose is just the crown of the head. And that's where the ball starts, and it rolls right down your spine, all the way down to your ankle. And then shift the weight forward to Chaturanga, or put your knees down, and then knees, chest, chin will lower down to the floor. And now bring your right hand in front, put your forehead on your right arm, bend the left knee, and hold the top of the ankle. Press the pubic bone down, and you're getting a little stretch on your hamstring, which is often not stretched much during the day. Then lower that down and switch hands. So now the left arm goes in front. Put your forehead on the left arm, bend the right knee, hold the top of the ankle with the right hand, press the pubic bone down, and then lower that down. Bring the hands by the chest, curl your toes under, come back up to your knees, and then downward facing dog. Be in downward dog. And now step or hop, feet and hands together, and fold over to Uttanasana. bend the knees, look forward, swing the arms up, draw the knees back slightly as the hips go back slightly, keep looking forward, and then all the way up, and then exhale back down. And hands at the heart. Make sure you're somewhere near the front of your mat. And then take a nice breath here. And then exhale the breath out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Fold over to Uttanasana. And lift up to Ardha Uttanasana. Shoulders are back toward the waist. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, place the hands, step the right leg back and lower the knee. Lift up. And now bend the back knee. You might want to wiggle the front foot forward a little. Bend the back knee, and if you can, hold it with your same side arm. I believe that's the right side. If that's stressful for your knee in any way, you can just do a prayer twist. Lower the leg. Bring both hands down to the mat. Bring both knees to the mat, to the blanket, and press up to downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Lift the right leg straight back, Ekapadasana. And bring that knee down to the floor, or bring the knee in toward your chest and swing it through and lower the left leg. Beautiful. Lift all the way up. And now bend the back foot up. And we're stretching that quad right there. Try to look forward. It's also a bit of a balance. And then lower down. Place the hands and bring both knees down or straighten the back leg and go back to downward facing dog. Shift the weight to plank. Really press the inner arms forward, the outer arms back. And lift the kneecaps up toward the top of the hips. And then press back to downward facing dog. Shift the weight forward to plank again. And then shift the weight further forward to Chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin, lower down. We'll meet on the floor. And bring your left arm forward. If you want, you can lift up a little on that arm or just rest your forehead on it. Right? And then bend the right leg. Hold the top of the ankle. Now press the pubic bone down. Draw the ankle toward the outer edge of your hip like you do in Virasana. Just at your level of stretch. And then lower that down. Switch to the other arm. This time it would be your right arm, and bend the left knee and hold the top of the ankle. Now press the pubic bone down. That'll make a difference in your stretch. And then lower down. Hands by the chest. Curl the toes under. Pressing all the way up. Downward facing dog. Really enjoy this dog and the lengthening of your lower back in particular. And then step or hop forward, hands and feet. And then fold over to Uttanasana. Reach behind your knees if that feels good to enhance your descent. And then release the hands. Bend your knees deeply. We're lifting up to Utkatasana, powerful pose. So really reach up as if your arms can support you, hooking onto some sky hook. And then inhale, lift all the way up. Reach back, slightly keep the hips moving back also. And then bring your hands together at your heart. And take several breaths here. Okay, and then lower the hands. And we're going to turn our mats more horizontally to do some standing poses. And you'll just need your mat and whatever blocks you like to use for Trikonasana, for Parsvakonasana, and that should do it. So now all that good work we did warming up our hips we'll get to use in our standing poses. And standing poses are always invigorating. They can increase our stamina and our strength, but they also are just invigorating to do, I think. Okay, so you might have your blocks or your cans or whatever, your books, whatever you're using, and we're going to have them at the back of the mat so they're handy. Make sure. Okay, so we're going to begin in Tadasana. And it's perfectly fine to, adjust your support. You can even like stack blocks up. That's a possibility. Or get a taller book or can. All right, so let's stand in the middle of our mat. And then have our hands at our heart. Step or jump your feet wide apart. And then turn your right foot in and your left foot out entirely. Make sure you bend your knee slightly when you turn your foot. Keep that integrity of your knee. Now really reach out through the fingertips. So just see if, if it's like as if you could hold, several bags of flour on top of each arm. Make sure they're not like just flopping out there. Have the face facing forward, the hips facing forward. So look forward at an imaginary horizon. Forward. This forward. Okay. And then bend the left knee to a right angle. Press out through the outer edge of the back foot to remember this leg is really your support. Now look out over the front arm. Look that way out. And now straighten the front leg, micro bend the knee and feet forward. I'm going to leave the arms up today. But of course, if you need a break, you can lower them down. Turn the left foot in, the right foot out entirely. All right, now really lengthen out through those arms. Turn the palms up. All right, and imagine you're holding something very heavy on each palm. Look out at the back hand and see if it's lowered down. I want to drop that flour bag, so lift it up. Good, now keep that same energy, which engages the triceps actually, and then turn the palms over, but keep them reaching strongly out. Now bend the front leg to a right angle. Okay, press out as if somebody could step down on that outer edge of the back foot to engage the back leg, and then look out at an imagined wonderful scene, somebody you want to see maybe. And then straighten the front leg, micro bend the knee, hands, feet forward and hands on the waist and step together. Okay, so now we're going to go, we're going to do a little flow. And so one of the moves will be from Virabhadrasana 2, just watch me for a minute because you'll all remember this. From Virabhadrasana 2, see how both arms, this arm's not down and I haven't forgotten it even though it's back there. They're both reaching out equally. So from Vira 2, we're going to lift the front palm and do reverse Vira 2, which I always think feels so lovely. And then we're going to go back through Virabhadrasana 2 and then use our bent knee, or we can use a block. And then we're going to do Parsvakonasana. And then we're going to come back up and then do the other side. So let's all start in Tadasana. And if you think you want to use a block for Parsvakonasana, but your bent knee is very helpful, and it's always there. Okay, hands at the heart. Step or jump your feet wide. Make sure you end in a jump with bent knees. Turn the right foot in, left foot out entirely. Now hip points are facing forward and looking forward. All right. And now bend the front knee to a right angle. Really reach out through both arms and look at your left arm. Now turn the palm of the left arm up, reach it up and drop the back arm down to the back of the knee, back of the thigh. And then go back to Virabhadrasana 2. And now reach forward, reach, and then come to your bent elbow or your block. Drop the top arm down for now. Now draw the top shoulder toward an imaginary wall. All right, so we're opening the chest any amount. It's a bit of a twist. Now touch the ear with that back arm and then shoot it out over the ear. You can even look slightly up toward the ceiling if that works for you. To come out of the pose, lift back up to Virabhadrasana 2. Always a challenge, straighten the front knee, but first bring it forward. Good. Hands on the waist for a mini vacation. And now turn the back foot in, bend the front knee slightly and turn that foot out. Now check your own alignment. If you drew a line from the front heel, it should intersect the arch of the back foot. Lift the arms up and bend the front knee to Virabhadrasana 2. Now bring the sitting bone of the bent knee toward me, toward the front of the room. Now turn and look. Turn the palm up, reach up, reverse Virabhadrasana 2. And now reach back to Virabhadrasana 2 and reach, and come into Parsvakonasana. Press out through the outer edge of the back foot and see if you can lower that back hip any amount so that the line of energy is going from the foot out, through the shoulder, out, through into the other wall. Beautiful. And then lift back up to Virabhadrasana 2. And straighten the leg. Now bend the leg and move both feet parallel, hands at the waist, and step together. Very nice. Okay. So let's move into Trikonasana. All right. And we might then even do a little flow that includes what we just did and Trikonasana. So make sure you have whatever blocks. If you use blocks for Trikonasana, your leg is also a very handy prop. And usually always there. Hands at the heart. Step or jump your feet wide apart. Turn the back foot in. Bend the front leg. Turn it out entirely. Now, lift the kneecaps up to the hip. Lift the toes of the front foot to engage this leg and press out to the outer edge of the back foot. So really press it down. Now reach as the hips move back toward the other wall. Reach, and then come to whatever support you're using. Bring the top hand down, and we'll practice lengthening both sides of the waist. So draw this front hip back so that this waist is long, and we're not, like, this would not be what we want. I'm going to draw my top ribs down to try to lengthen both sides evenly. And then lift this arm up. And then if you want, you can just rotate the head to look, using the left eye to look up at the right arm. And then look forward, reach out to the outer edge of the back foot, lift through the top arm, micro bend the front leg, feet forward, and turn back foot entirely. Engage the arms and move the hips back toward the wall. Reach, 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 lengthen, 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 and then come to whatever support you would like. Drop the top hand just for a moment to the waist as we organize both sides of the waist. So I'm drawing this hip back, lengthening up to my inner armpit of the bottom waist, and then the same length here as I lift my top arm up. And if I would like, I can look up. Right eye looking up at the left hand. Then look forward, lift to the top hand, micro bend the front leg, and feet together. All right, so let's do a little flow. So just follow along. We start as we did before in Viratu. And you'll need the same equipment that you've been using. Okay, hands at the heart. Bend the knees if you're jumping, or step wide. Now turn the right foot in and left foot out. Okay, now be in this pose. All right, so I call it the Leonardo da Vinci Universal Woman and Man. Right now, we're going to bend the front knee to Virabhadrasana 2. Turn the palm up, reverse Virabhadrasana 2. Turn through Virabhadrasana and then move into Parsvakonasana. Use a block, use your knee, and reach over. And with your hands in front, for some reason, move it to the back and straighten the front leg into Trikonasana. And then reach out through the outer edge of the back foot, lift up, micro bend the front leg, and feet forward. Beautiful. Hands at the waist. And check your alignment of your feet. Make sure they're on the same plane there. Okay. All right, lift the arms, reach them out. And now turn the left foot in, right foot out entirely, bending that knee. All right, and then bend the knee into Virabhadrasana 2. Look out over the front arm. Forgot that last time. Turn the palm up, lower the back hand, reverse. And then move back into Vira 2 and keep moving into Parsvakonasana. Reach the top arm over, press out to the outer edge of the back foot. And then lift to Trikonasana. Moving straightening the front leg. And look up. And then look forward, lift to the top arm. Micro bend the front leg. Feet forward, hands on the waist. Step together. We're going to have a little mini break here, and then we're going to do that all over again. So have your feet wider than usual for Uttanasana. We're not going to do as wide as we do for Prasarita Padottanasana. So then hands at the hip crease, just hinge forward. Just relax forward.
And then bend the knees slightly, bring your hands to the waist, not leaving the head come up last. Even though we weren't down there very long, you always want the head to come up last.
Okay, so actually, you know, we've had a lovely full moon this week. And so in honor of the full moon, we're going to do Trikonasana to Ardha Chandrasana, and then we're going to work a little bit on Ardha Chapasana, which is sugarcane pose. Okay, so I'm going to encourage those of you who, if you have a practice of Ardha Chandrasana and you use your blocks, fine. If you have a wall nearby and you want to use the wall, then put your mat alongside the wall. But you can also have a chair that can help you. Okay. Okay. So figure out what you want to do. I think you like the wall. Okay. So just to remind everybody, if you're using a chair for support, which can be almost as helpful as a wall, once you do Trikonasana, then we're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana, and you can just put your hand on the chair seat, and as you move forward, it can be a very nice support for you. And that's like remembering the amount of effort that you want out of your pose. If you're doing it near a wall, make sure you have enough room on both sides that you're not going to run out of room. So I think, yeah, if you move right back, move this here, then we'll have plenty of room on this side. Okay, and if you're using a wall, the wall is there to just, you don't have to lean into it so much, but it's there if you need to lean into it. Okay, all right. So finding what level of support you want. Have your blocks behind you. If you're using tall blocks for Trikonasana, that's what you want. Good. All right. All right, so let's stand in the middle of our mat. Have your hands at your heart. And then step your feet wide apart. Or jump. Okay. Turn the right foot in, the left foot out entirely. Okay. And if you have the wall near you, make sure that, and your blocks near you, make sure that the wall people, that your block is right next to the wall and your foot is right next to the block. That's what you have, the support you need. Excellent. Arms up. Press out through the outer edge of the back foot and reach into Trikonasana. And be in Trikonasana. And now to move into Ardha Chandrasana, you can either leave this arm up or bring it down to your waist. Bend the front leg, look down at the front foot, move the block forward or use your chair seat. And then slowly straighten the front leg as you slowly lift and really extend the back leg. And then look forward if you can, or you can keep looking at your foot. And then to come out of the pose, bend the front leg, move the block back, lower the back foot. And then micro-bend the front leg as you lift up, and micro-bend it again to turn the feet forward. Now we're going to do it on the other side. So turn the left foot in and the right foot out entirely. Make sure that your foot is right next to the block, and if you have a wall, the block is right next to the wall. Good. Now press out through the outer edge of the back foot so that the hip point in the back is lifted. All right, and then reach into Trikonasana. And lift up through the top arm. And now either leave it up or bring it to the waist. Look down at the foot, bend the front knee. Place your hand on the block and reach it forward, fairly far forward. Now keep the front knee bent as you lift the back leg and slowly keep looking down at the floor in front of your foot. Lift the back leg up. Now really reach out strongly through the back leg. And then if you feel like you want to experiment with looking forward, that would be a fun thing to try. And then slowly bend the front leg, lower the back leg, return to Trikonasana. And then look forward, lift up, micro-bend the front leg, feet forward. All right. I think everybody did a fine job. All right, so now I'm going to show you Ardha Chandra Chapasana, which is sugar cane. I think it's Ardha Chandra, it might be half moon sugar cane pose. Anyway, it's very similar to Ardha Chandrasana. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like because some of you have practiced it. So, and we get into it in a similar way. We're going to go into Trikonasana. And then we're going to draw our top hand down, right? And then we're going to bend the front knee and bend the other leg instead of straightening it out. We bend it toward our chest, hold the ankle like we did in Ardha Bakasana, and then we're going to reach it back. Now, if you're on the wall is there to help you. So if you were using a wall, and then eventually you can look forward, and then we go back into it the same way we came. All right, so Ardha Chandra Chapasana. All right, so I'll talk you through it, and it's fun. Hands at the heart, step your feet wide apart, all right, and then turn the back foot in and the front foot out entirely. And it's just the same as we're going to go into Trikonasana, our old friend Trikonasana. So reach into Trikonasana and be in Trikonasana. All right, now look down at the front foot, bend the front knee, and just as we did before, move the block forward. Now bring the hand down, hop the back foot forward, but this time bend the knee in toward your chest, hold the ankle, and now slowly straighten the front leg. Use your block for support. And you can just press the ankle into the hand, and that might be all you want to do. And then to come out of the pose, release the foot, reach it out into Ardha Chandrasana, lower it down and move the block back into Trikonasana, and then lift all the way up. Oh, my goodness. All right, it's heating up in here. Okay, hands on the waist. Okay, and let's turn the back foot in, the front foot out entirely. Okay, and don't rush it. Just be in each part of the pose, and then you'll enjoy where you are. All right, so let's reach into Trikonasana first. Okay, and be in Trikonasana. Opening the pose up like a starfish in all directions. And then look forward, look down at your foot. Bring your hand down to your waist, bend the front knee and move the block forward. The wall is there if you're using the wall. Now keep the front knee bent as you bend the other knee in toward your chest, hold the ankle. And now slowly drop the knee toward the floor of the bent leg, straighten the other leg, and using the hand and the ankle pressing into each other, form your pose. And even just if you're new to this, just keeping the knee pointing toward the floor and lifting the back leg up slightly is fine and dandy. And now to come out of the pose, let go of the top foot, reach it out, stretch it back into Trikonasana, and then lift all the way up. Micro bend the front leg, feet forward, hands on the waist. Alrighty, so let's now enjoy the after effects of all that adventure. And we're going to do a wide leg forward fold. So have your blocks in front of you. And we talked in class the other day about making sure that your pose in wide leg forward fold for Sarada Padottanasana is not going to be too wide for you to feel comfortable. It's not supposed to feel like your legs are going to break off. That's not comfortable. So you might want to bring them closer. So we're all going to start with our feet together, and then step your feet very wide apart, but not so wide that you feel your feet are sliding out from under you. look down and make sure that the outer edges of your feet are parallel with the mat and your feet almost feel pigeon-toed, meaning turned in a little. Hands on the waist. Now, lift the heart, elbows back, and now reach the heart forward. Reach, 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 and then come to your blocks. Okay, and just as we do in down dog, move the inner arm forward and the outer arm back to see how that opens the collarbones. And since we can try this, right now, collapse your shoulders and move the outer arms forward so like the inner elbows are facing each other. And see how that feels in your collarbones. Now, grow the pose by doing just the opposite. Opening the front of the elbow toward me or toward the other side of the room, and see how that opens your collarbone. Very nice. And now reach your blocks forward to lengthen forward. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen.
And if it feels good to come off your blocks and continue to lengthen, that's fine, or stay on your blocks. And then bring your hands back under you, and we're going to use the blocks to support our head if you need it. So find whatever support. It might be that your head comes down to your mat, but if it doesn't, then you can play blocks here. You can stack them up as high as you want, so that your head is supported and you can feel the support. You're not putting much effort into this, and we're going to just stay here for several breaths. Have your hands back in line with your feet and your elbows in a right angle, with the elbows reaching back behind you. Draw your attention to your breathing, and without too much effort, try to lengthen your exhales. And take nice long inhalations and nice long and maybe a little longer exhalation. And then bring your hands back under your shoulders and wiggle your feet in toward each other. Keep the head down as we do in Uttanasana. Bring the hands to the waist, bend your knees. Now come up using 2 full slow breaths before you get all the way up, bringing your head up at the very end. So let's come down to the mat and have a blanket or 2 to sit on. There's Gordy. Hi, Gordy. Did you come to join our practice finally? That's a good boy. Gordy the Wonder Dog.
All right, so we're going to start in Dandasana. So have your feet stretched out. All right, now, like we did in the beginning of class, place your fingertips behind you, elbows reaching back, and really reach your feet forward, lifting the toes, and drawing the toes back towards your knees, actually. All right, and now lift your left leg up. I'm going to do Marichiasana 1. All right. And pull the front of the knee to help you lift your front body. And twist, you always want to lengthen before you twist. We're giving room for your spine. Now reach your left arm up to add a little more lift. Keep the lift, but bring the elbow inside and reach behind you. Now press consciously the knee into the elbow and the elbow into the knee, and keep looking forward first. Don't lose the integrity of the stretched out leg. And now on an inhale, lift up, reach up, and on an exhale, relax the belly and turn the ribs any amount. Now inhale, lift up, and exhale, turn. And then come on back to the front. We're going to keep the knee there. Now we're going to do Marichiasana 3. Gordy's done with his practice for the day. Capture your leg, okay, but don't try to keep the upper body reaching up, lifting up. Reach out the lower leg and inhale, lift, and exhale, turn. Now inhale, reach out with the lower leg, exhale, turn. And then come on back to the front and reach both feet out, right, and then lift your other leg up. All right. Lift the right arm, bring the right elbow and knee together, and reach behind you with your left arm. Now, really engage the extended left leg. Draw the toes up toward your face and press the heel as if it was into a wall. So inhale, lift. And on an exhale, turn the ribs around the spine any amount. Then on an inhale, lift up. On an exhale, turn. So you're really stretching the chest, the shoulders, and then come back to the front, which all help the breath, all right? Which we want to have a lot of good breath. Okay, hold that knee in front of it, lift up. Now capture the leg, reach behind you, lean back a little, and let your belly come around. We've all got a little belly. All right. Reach the extended left leg forward, and inhale, lift. And now exhale, turn the ribs any amount. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, turn. Come on back to the front. All right, and we're going to stretch out. All right, now you can come off of your blankets. All right, return to Dandasana. Now, reach inside of each knee and draw the right knee out, draw the left knee out, bring the feet together in Baddha Konasana. All right, hold the front of the ankle, lift the front body, and then let the feet open as if you could read your the bottoms of your feet. And try not to think about when you'll have your next pedicure. Guess we could give ourselves a pedicure, can't we? All right. And just pressing down gently on the knee. Well, actually, let's go ahead and hold your left ankle. Use the left elbow into the left knee, and then pressing gently on the opposite knee and turning toward that knee. Just a little gentle opening here. And then come on back through the middle. And then we'll press the other way. And then come on back. We'll do it once more on each side. So we're just holding the ankle and then opening towards the opposite knee. And come on through and try that again. Good. And then come on back. All right, now we're going to, I'm I'm going to offer you what I find a very relaxing Shavasana pose, which is also a good chest opener. You can have your blocks with you. You don't need a belt. I don't think I'm going to, but you would, if you're using a nice big, like comforter folded up, or maybe 3 folded blankets together, what you want is, you want support for your spine, and then you also want your head to be a little higher. So have another blanket or a flattish pillow up here at the top. And then we're going to, if you have an eye bag or something that you want to try for Shavasana, you can certainly get that. And so, I'm just going to show you what this pose looks like, and then we'll all do it together. So we start out in front of whatever our support is going to be, and I like to leave a fist size space between my sacrum and the beginning of my support. All right, and then I bring my feet together just like we did in Baddha Konasana. I have blocks near me so I can put them under my thighs. Right. And then before I get into the pose, I'm going to lengthen my spine up, and then I'm going to lay back down, bending my elbows, and I'm going to make sure I have enough support for my head. If you're not comfortable, add more support for your head. All right. And then pressing the elbows down, lift your sitting bones up, lengthen your tailbone toward your feet, and then lower it back down. And you can use any cover you want. And then we're just going to have Shavasana in this. So let's all take a nice deep breath and then just sigh out all the effort of the day. And then let the skin of the forehead just start in the middle and then melt back out across the eyebrows, and as if it was a nice warm oil that flows back over the top of your ears and pools at the base of your skull. Just let the brain sink back. Let your jaw relax so that the lips are almost not touching. Let the eyes fall back in the sockets. And let yourself go. So slowly bring your attention back to your breathing. And place your right hand on your belly and then your left. And just notice the natural movement of your body. As your ribs open with an inhale. And as they relax and move back into the body with an exhale. And then lower the hands back to the floor. Bring your knees together. And you can move whatever blocks or supports you had. And then very gently roll to your right side. Just moving off of your support. And take a moment here before you return to your sitting position to send some gratitude toward your body for all it does for you all day long without you even consciously asking it to. And for all it does for you in your yoga practice when you do ask it consciously. And now slowly come up to sitting, keeping your eyes downcast, and we'll meet in prayer position. So let's make an offering of the benefits of our practice, that all beings without exception will move further from fear and closer to love, and that all beings without exception will find their way back to their heart's true home. So let's close our practice with 3 Ohms together. So take a nice breath. So let's bow the intelligence of the mind to the wisdom and the constancy of the heart. Namaste. So thank you for practicing and for joining us virtually or however. And there'll be more upcoming as we continue to videotape our teaching. So namaste, y'all.
Mm-hmm.